Hello, dear friends. How are you? Welcome to your first American Lit recap from my husband's office in the basement. Oh my goodness, I miss you all so much. I hope you're doing well. I literally hate this digital teaching more than I hate reverse Thursdays, and this week has just been bizarre and it sucks. And I hope that you are well and staying healthy physically and mentally and exercising and being patient and just finding your new norm through all this. I know teachers have been discussing a lot that, just trying to find the balance of expectations and knowing that you all have other things going on besides schoolwork, like you might be in charge of your siblings or things like that, or you lost power because of the earthquake. So I am here for you. Please email me. I so appreciate all the email check-ins just about I lost power. Can I have an extension? Absolutely. Assignments for this week have been open through Sunday. So if those could be in by Sunday just to keep on track, that would be great. And thank you for your patience with me. I know I haven't been perfect with assignments and all this stuff. But we have to make it work. So we will. So thanks for staying positive. Also, thank you for continuing to do this work with the Bluest Eye. I hope the book is getting more engaging for you kind of once we get past like I feel like the opening chapters of every book kind of are like, nah. Okay, so thanks for sticking through it. And just not being as, I don't know, it's just harder to be engaged like through a screen with a book with just yourself. So I'm missing you all. I'm sure you all are missing your peers. So thank you for just doing your best and figuring it out. Okay. So I wanted to give you a little recap of the book just to make sure we're all on the same page. This week you read about a lot of minor characters. So pages 61 through 109 have two stories. The first is about Maureen, the second about Geraldine and Junior. So these are minor characters who interact with Pecola, Claudia, and Frida just in this chunk of the text. So they'll never come up again. And that's kind of the same for all the minor characters in this chunk. So we know Pecola is the main character, but we get a little bit of insight from a few people in the community who interact with her and kind of expose or like reveal something about her community or about the issues that they're all struggling with. Okay, so these characters, Maureen, Peel, Geraldine, and Junior. Geraldine is the mom, Junior is the son. They reveal and like kind of represent the privilege that Pecola doesn't have and that she doesn't enjoy, which is why you also read those three articles about privilege and journaled about them this week. So a quick recap, I'm looking at my notes here. A quick recap about Maureen. She's described as being high yellow, which basically means she's light-skinned. So while she is Black and part of their community, people view her differently. Like at school, she kind of has more social privilege because she doesn't look as dark. And so out of jealousy, Claudia and Frida make fun of her behind her back, right? Because she's like had 6 fingers, so she has like a little nub thing going on. On page 62, Claudia narrates, she said her name is Maureen Peel, a high yellow dream child with long brown hair braided into 2 lynch ropes that hung down her back rather. She was rich, at least by our standards, as rich as the richest of the white girls, swaddled in comfort and care. She enchanted the entire school. When boys called on her, they smiled She enchanted the entire school. When teachers called on her, they smiled encouragingly. Black boys didn't trip her in the halls. White boys didn't stone her. White girls didn't suck their teeth when she was assigned to be their work partners. Black girls stepped aside when she wanted to use the sink in the girls' toilet, their eyes genuflecting under sliding lids. She even bought and liked white milk. So Maureen is kind of things that Claudia, Pecola, and Frida are not, and things that they're kind of striving to be, or things that they want. Hang on, I've got to check the picture for this. Okay, sorry. I'm with you. Okay, so that's Maureen. And then there's the whole incident with the ice cream at the towards the end of this chapter. So Maureen, who's, they say, swaddled in comfort and care, so has this like kind of love of her family that maybe those 3 other girls don't have. She has extra money, so she goes to buy ice cream and buys some for Pecola and kind of chastises Claudia and Frida, like, you guys should get some too. And they're like, no, we're okay, instead of revealing, like, we don't get allowance and extra money. So she buys Pecola ice cream, and then she kind of, like, taunts them and insults them by calling them black in a really disparaging, like, ugly way. which Maureen then likens being a darker skin tone to being ugly, which is an idea that we saw in the Anderson Cooper, that CNN experiment, where the school children had that kind of like range of the same characters, but they had different shades of skin color. Maureen closely follows those results that they found. And then Claudia kind of summarizes how she felt once Maureen called them black and ugly. She says, on page 74, we are sinking under the wisdom, accuracy, and relevance of Maureen's last words. If she was cute, and if anything could be believed she was, then we were not. And what did that mean? We were lesser. Nicer, brighter, but still lesser. Dolls we could destroy, but we could not destroy the honey voices of parents and aunts, the obedience in the eyes of our peers, the slippery light in the eyes of our teachers when they encountered the Maureen Peels of the world. What was the secret? What did we lack? Why was it important, and so what? The thing to fear was a thing that made her beautiful and not us. So again, Claudia kind of alludes to, destroying the baby dolls like she did at the start, or like wondering why people love Shirley Temple, and like what is it about these people, these things that make them beautiful or worthy when she and her sister and Piccola are not. So just showing the connection between race and beauty that the girls have struggled with throughout this book. Okay. The next chunk that starts on page, I think it's 81, about Geraldine and Junior, exposes another kind of like prejudice. So like Maureen is more prejudiced to the girls who are darker skinned when she herself is black, so it's really insulting. Same with Geraldine. They continue this motif of judgment for those who have darker skin tone or who have grown up differently. Both are black, but Geraldine holds a lot of ideas about the people in her race, really creating a distinction between like groups of people. Like she uses a lot of pronouns like those people, they do this, like stereotyping and grouping people together in what I see as a very ignorant way, whereas Geraldine thinks that people who are not like her are the ignorant ones. So as a result of that, thinking of how much, how you grow up or who you grow up with like influences you and your bias and your beliefs, her son Junior is a total jerk and believes these things as well. So that's why he starts taunting Piccola in the schoolyard, because he's like, oh, she's black and she's ugly and nobody's going to want to play with her. That's what he's grown up to think because of his mom. And like his mom wants him to only play with white children because they are more worthy to be Junior's playmates. So just really like a really twisted, gross household. And you can infer if Junior was taking that like race doll test from Anderson Cooper that he would have many of the same associations that we saw that the little white children did on that. So he torments Piccola, kind of picks on her, and then, oh, there's my dog, and then blames the killing of the cat, which has blue eyes, how symbolic, on Piccola, and Geraldine totally believes Junior because Piccola is seen as like the other and less than. So Piccola was just like an easy victim in their house. Geraldine and Junior also bring up this idea of being loved versus being taken. Oops, sorry, I don't know what I just pressed. Of being loved versus being taken care of, which we'll see when we get more information about Pauline next week. You could argue that Piccola isn't really loved by her parents, right? They don't have a stable marriage. They don't love each other. So how could they love their children? And they can like barely take care of them, right? That's why Sammy, the brother, runs away. Choli, we know, starts a fire and gets himself in jail, so then he puts his family out. So there isn't really love or this idea of like parents taking care of children in Piccola's house. Geraldine explains this on 86 because this is kind of mirrored in Junior's life, whereas Geraldine like takes care of his needs, but she really, really loves this cat. Like, not such a nice mom. So Geraldine explains on 86. The narrator explains. He was always brushed, bathed, oiled, and shod. Geraldine did not talk to him, coo to him, or indulge him in kissing bouts, but she saw that every other desire was fulfilled. It was not long before the child discovered the difference in his mother's behavior to himself and the cat. As he grew older, he learned how to direct his hatred of his mother to the cat, and spent some very happy moments watching it suffer. The cat survived because Geraldine was seldom away from home and could effectively soothe the animal when Junior abused him. Interesting. So Junior treats like Piccola and this cat kind of the same, as like he's looking for power, kind of lashing out in a way that like a bad kid would. But Geraldine doesn't see it as something like, oh, I need to mother him better, I need to love him better, and not just like make sure he's fed and took a shower. She just keeps pouring all of her love into this blue-eyed cat. So symbolic. All right, so 2 sets of minor characters all about privilege. Looking ahead to next week, the chapters reveal Pauline and Choli's childhoods and upbringing, and there are some really disturbing incidents in what happened in Choli's life. Please know that there is graphic material. It's outlined on the class calendar with Choli's life. Sorry, I should have looked this up before. So no, you can skip for Choli pages 147 through 149, and then also the final pages with 161 through 163. So 147 to 149 and 161 to 163. They're both incidences of sexual abuse. One happens in Choli's childhood, that first chunk, and then the latter pages of the chapter, 161 to 163, are when Choli abuses Piccola. So know that that's coming. You can absolutely understand why he is such a broken man, thus a poor father to Piccola, without reading those chapters. So you do not need to read them. It's outlined on the calendar. Let me know if you have questions about that. It's kind of a lot to process. And we just know that he is a disturbing character. So that's for next week. Okay, a few reminders. Can you please take the survey about Netflix and like this documentary, which I did find on YouTube if you want to watch it. So kind of chunked out in 3 sections. I think it's really fascinating, and it just creates more depth into like the background of race in America, and also, has direct connections to the book. So if you could do that, that'd be amazing. We will continue reading. Of course, so next week are about parents and their influences on children. My goal is that the Bluest Eye is wrapped up by spring break, so then we can like hopefully come back and have just like a mini unit before finals and kind of like a clean break. So thank you for sticking with it. Please reach out with any questions. You guys have done great work before. Also, the final note is that Judge will be open from 9 to 11 this coming Monday. So on Monday the 23rd, if you need to get anything from your locker or whatever, I don't think teachers will be there to check in. But if you need to retrieve anything from your lockers, the building is open from 9 to 11 on Monday. Okay. Sorry, that was like 13 minutes of me talking to you and like losing my train of thought. I just wanted to give you some kind of check-in. So know that you are very missed. I appreciate all the work you're doing. Keep reaching out and communicating with me. And stay well, friends. We will get through this. Okay. Bye.